Today we are going to talk about the importance of cell division. Why do we need cell division? Well, there are three reasons. Cell division allows organisms to number one, grow, number two, repair damage, and number three, reproduce. Let's start off with growth. Right now you have way more cells than you did as a baby. So as a baby, your cells kept dividing and dividing till there was more. So why is it that cells have to divide for growth and not this, where you just have one cell that gets bigger? Isn't it much easier just for one cell to get bigger and more energy efficient? Let's see. Nutrients and waste move through the cell in a process called diffusion. So we see all these nutrient particles outside of the cell. We know in diffusion, particles go from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. So outside the cell, we have a high concentration of nutrient particles. Inside the cell, there's a low concentration. So nutrients are going to go from the outside to the inside of the cell. And same thing at the bottom. Although this one requires a protein to help it through, but it's the same process. If a cell gets too large, diffusion would not work well. Nutrients and water would not reach all the organelles quickly. And what's worse, waste might poison the cell if it's not transported out fast enough. So look on the right side. There's a lot of distance for nutrients and waste to go through. Whereas on the left side, zoop, see how much faster it is for things to come in and out? So it's way more efficient with smaller cells, but lots of it. Now let's look at how cell division helps with repair. Cell division allows organisms to repair injuries, and new cells replace the old ones or damaged ones. So on the left side, we have a bunch of cells. Suppose these two got damaged and died. So what's going to happen? We're going to have two less cells. But guess what? They're going to be these cells that actually pick up the slack and start dividing. So in the end, we're going to have the same amount or even more. So same way, this is how your cells repair the ones that are damaged. They just keep dividing and you have more. So here's another argument to have many cells divide than just one grow large. So if two cells were gone, you'd still have all these other cells that would keep dividing. Whereas if this one cell was gone, you wouldn't have anything left. Things would not look good. So let's look at a real-life example of cells repairing. Suppose you have a wound, a cut, blood is going to ooze out, and there's going to be a puncture in your skin. Well, your blood will start clotting to stop the blood from gushing out, but look what the cells are doing. They're also dividing. And the more they divide, the more they're able to replenish whatever was lost. Now let's talk how cell division helps with reproduction. All organisms use cell division to reproduce. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. So let's look at the Hydra example. Notice there's a tiny bump right here. That's because the cells are repeatedly dividing and dividing till there's more of it. And finally, the offspring detaches and becomes its independent Hydra. So the original Hydra didn't need somebody else to mate with, it just had itself to actually produce an offspring. In sexual reproduction, two parents are involved, and those parents have sex cells, which are called sperm and egg cells. So one parent will have the sperm, and the other parent will have the egg. And when they infuse and fertilize, you end up with a zygote. And this keeps dividing, and the cells keep on dividing till it becomes bigger and much more complicated. And eventually it will become a full-fledged offspring. So to summarize, cell division allows organisms to grow, repair damage, and reproduce.